Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another OpenGL Screencast. This is going to be Animations Part 2. So let's dive right in. So the main difference between this one and the other one is rather than using idle functions, we're going to be using timers, which are generally a lot safer, a lot better. And we are also, I changed how we are structuring some of our objects. So moving forward, you'll be able to see how this goes. So couple things to see we added here is we're initializing OBJs, and we're calling this timer with our toggle animation, currently set to 0. So let's close out of that guy, and so let's take a look at first some structs. This is how we're going to be restructuring our stuff. We have an XYZ point, which is 3-dimensionals. We have our TSR, which is translation, scale, rotation, which contains 3 points because each of those have 3 directions. And then we're going to have these cubes, and that's _s for struct, and it has a TSR within that. So you can kind of see probably where this is going. We make sure to include that structs .h inside of our screencasts. And now we're going to have this xturn cube s cubes. It holds a single cube right now, but can hold many cubes if we change this. And each one will be the reference really easily. This will be really good for animation of multiple items at the same time. So I'm kind of jumping around, but this is kind of where we're going. So change this from M to the spacebar. It's just easy to turn animation on and off with spacebar. It's just a little more convenient. At least for me, you can do M if you still choose. We are initializing our OBJs. So right now, since we have a size of 1 for our cubes, we are creating one cube. He has a size, or translation 000, size 222, and rotation 000. So you can see how this is kind of, for anybody who comes from an object-oriented language, this should seem really familiar to you. We should have been using structs long ago. You're wondering why we weren't. Well, we're going to be using structs moving forward, so this is just kind of how we do it in old school C. And then we just throw that guy into that cubes array. Once again, in your globals, you want to make sure you have the guy there. So let me see what else is open. Common. We have added a define animated paused, and that should be it. So here we're going to draw scene, and inside this draw scene we're doing all the regular stuff, setting a texture, and then saying drawing a cube, and we're drawing cube 0, which is, as we said above. And all this is going to do is call that cube function, passing it the translations, the scales, and the rotation. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this, and in fact what I would probably do in the future is change the shapes itself to accept a cube object, or a cube struct, excuse me, and just change it right here so we don't have this extra layer right here of draw cube that calls cube, giving a cube object. So the main difference is we can still use this one without using a struct, and that's the main reason I've been keeping it around, but I may go ahead and change that anyway, just to be a little more convenient. So yeah. And finally, animation. How has animation changed? So we're calling that timer function with the toggle initially, and it is set to paused, so we're not moving anything when we load up. And then we're gonna call glut timer func, and this is gonna say, hey, we have milliseconds to call back, which is the timer itself, and the value, because in general, glut timer func, what it's going to do is it's going to wait this many milliseconds, call this callback with this extra value, and it's going to do it one time. So if you want to have something that is called over and over again, you need to do a glut timer func at the end of your timer, or whatever callback you're using. And then we want to make sure we redisplay all. We have move light and move cube up here. Big difference is move light, we're just doing this modulus since we're not using time. And here we're using fmod, which is the same thing as modulus. And as you can see, we're grabbing that first cube, we're finding his rotation on the y-axis, and we're rotating 4 degrees. So super simple stuff. Go ahead and make this. And nothing's happening. We could start it, pause it, start it, and you can see how much more smooth that is than when we did it with the idle function and just hoping that the timing is right. So this is just a lot more smooth. It's just a lot nicer overall. And you know, doing things with structs now, we can be like, okay, we want to change this to be on the z-axis or something. And well, I think I didn't change something correctly here. But anyway, I'm sorry about that. But so that's basically it. And if you have anything else that you want to talk about here, then let me know. I'll be looking at maybe blending or aliases or something along those lines in the near future. So hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. Oh, you know, I want to know why it didn't change. I'm gonna say why, because I'm dumb. I'm a little confused. Sorry. If we look at our cube here, we only rotate around the y-axis anyway, based off of what is input. So we'll never rotate around x or z unless I change this function right here. So that's me remembering my own code. So hopefully this has been beneficial for you guys, and happy animations. Bye.